Representing combat base, Carolina, please welcome Mr. Chris Wilburn.
All right, here we go. So Kendall Roosing, I'm still here, but we also have Miss Kelsey just jumped in, switched out. Welcome back.
Hey friends, how we doing?
Oh, there she is. She's on camera. You can see her. We're sweater ganging it over here
We
today.
are absolutely sweater ganging it. We got the memo.
All right, we got a big guard pull early on. One thing I've noticed today in at least the first 5 or 6 matches we've been into, not a whole lot of dancing around on the feet. We're either quick into the
No.
takedowns or right into big strong guard pulls.
Yeah, we're not doing much of the hand fighting. We're not bouncing around the mat. Like we're either headed right into the pole or we're going after it. That 60-second submission bonus, it definitely drives
100%.
the intensity.
And we haven't seen one claimed yet, but we've seen some attempts, some strong early submission attempts. Just to be clear for everybody at home, there is a $500 bonus for finishing a submission in the first minute of the match, which is pretty insane. I don't think I've ever seen that anywhere else.
I love it. It's really motivating for the fighters.
We've seen a lot of sit-up guards today. We saw that early from Kim Krasenberg, and he has I thought he had the lapel
I think
back
he had
behind.
it for a brief moment, but okay, we're dropping down. Back to closed guard. Can't quite see what grips he's got going on the other side.
You got Daniel Branch here on top in the black gi. Chris Wilburn on bottom. Chris has a strong knee shield and a collar grip here, but it looks like he is shifting almost to De La Heave on the other side, but now he's thread the leg through the inside.
This corner's calling for some single leg X. Let's see if we can make our way there. He's
was
going to
gonna
look to
say.
off balance.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a little difficult to enter when we have such a strong base on top, right? Because Branch on top is doing a great job keeping his hips and his weight back. So he is driving into the knee shield with his chest, like he's bringing his diaphragm forward, but not to the point where he's elevating his own hips. So then for Wilburn to try to elevate using those butterfly hooks while they're being smashed is difficult. But he almost did get there a moment ago, not quite.
We're rocking. He's got to watch that back step pass. We're still 2 minutes from points.
Yeah, we definitely see that affect the way that people are passing, right? Because it's so much work to pass the guard, and if you do that right before points come on, and then you get put back in the guard, there's no promise you're going to pass again. So sometimes we do see the top players waiting 60 to 90 seconds to deploy their best passing skills.
I mean, it's not a bad strategy. Nice. There's that back step. Let's see if he can secure.
Wow, look at the defense there, though, from Wilburn,
Great.
right up onto that single leg, looking to
Oh.
lasso up.
Right into it.
Almost have a seatbelt grip there, though, from Branch.
All right. And we're going to go back to half guard. Back to the sit-up guard. Right onto the single again, but 30 seconds till points are live.
Oh, wow. Nice
Oh.
sweep. Almost had some back exposure there, and they're back to the feet. And what an interesting timing to restart back on the feet with about 15 seconds till points. See if there's another guard pull, if we're going to enter into some takedowns.
Yeah, the question is, do you wait it out and go for a takedown, secure some early points?
With 10 seconds, I would say so for sure. I mean, if we're talking minutes, then maybe not
No.
because the strategy there, you want to also, yes, you want points on the board, but you're also setting the tone of the match, and a lot of that is mental if you get an early takedown. So I think that's why we're seeing people coming out guns blazing along with, of course, the submission bonus. But at that point, makes sense, of course. So we're now into the points portion. We've got 4:42 on the clock.
Both guys looking for that inside position here. We've got a great grip on the belt.
You can
Yep.
see a little Uchi action, but it's being countered now. Look at that grip on the pant leg turned into his own single. Sweeps that left leg
nice.
back, sits him down, and now almost landed in side control, but now we're getting some back exposure there for Chris Wilburn.
And
Chris Wilburn,
went- oh my goodness.
might have rushed it a little bit on trying to secure the points, but he didn't lose the position altogether. Looks like he got 2 for the takedown.
Very nice. And we saw most of the first half of this match with Chris playing from the bottom. So now we get to see a little more top game, some back attacks.
He dragged him through. He had to look at a topside hook for a second, but because the bottom hip wasn't controlled, Branch was able to turn in this dogfight position now with a whizzer and an underhook.
We're headed toward the edge of the mat. Yep, we're going to get a reset. Back on our feet. Got about 3:30 to work here.
Back into that belt grip like you mentioned earlier, Kelsey. Could see another attempt at some judo here. That Uchi was what started that single leg counter though earlier. Bit of an attempt there. It was not really a Kochi Gari, but he did drop to the knee, but he was able to pop right back up. Branch was before it was countered too deeply.
Well, I'd like to see Branch push the pace a little bit more in the sense that he is down on points right now. We've got short time, so he's got some makeup work to do.
Nice use of the knee as a grip break there from Branch. Brings his knee up and pushes it down onto the forearm to break Wilburn's grip. About 2:15 left. And
Ooh. He's looking for it. Opening's not quite there yet.
into a fireman carry. But I was going to say, you're noticing Branch is having some offense, but I think that we're seeing him be a little bit timid on the offense, so to speak, because every time he goes in, Wilburn has really great counters, and that's how he scored earlier in the match. So even if Branch does have good offense, sometimes when you set that pace early on, it can be hard to fully commit because there's this hesitation to being recountered.
Yeah. But, you know, we're down to 90 seconds, so we're almost in that send it territory where it's like, hey, we got to go.
He's going in
We're
for
going
another
again.
Uchi. Has a whizzer on the right-hand side. Yeah, so that was the second time, or maybe the third time we've seen Branch come in on an Uchimata.
He likes the judo. You can definitely tell.
Yeah, that time there was much more commitment on his end, and they obviously went towards the end of the match, and so he didn't, or the end of the match, excuse me, a big double leg attempt here, but all the way around to the back again is Chris Wilburn, but not before Branch faces him and stands up. So there'll be no score on that exchange, just under 1 minute left. And now I think, like you said, Kelsey, we're going to see Branch get a lot more active and desperate to score here because he needs to put 2 points on the board.
That is the benefit of the super match, super fight format, right? You don't have to manage your energy to do 2, 3, 4 more matches for the day. You get to just go all out.
Oh, wow, another big
Oh.
Uchi attempt, but this time countered really strongly by Wilburn. Comes down, collapses the knees together, and he's potentially either going to look at side control or back exposure, depending on where the turning comes from Branch. But he's here in side control. He's going to try to use his hips to clear the arms over the head.
Great takedown defense from Wilburn. He's able to capitalize on both of those attempts and score for himself.
Moving towards north-south. He's blocking the hip with the right-hand side. He's going to prevent the
the
knees from
match.
coming inside, and he's going to ride out that points win.
Really fun stand-up for the last half of that match.
Your winner, representing Combat Base Carolina, Chris Wilburn.
And Chris Wilburn takes that win, improving his record here to 1-1.